What is the leverage effect? The leverage effect is when you achieve great results with small efforts and resources. How is this possible? You may ask. Have you ever noticed that some people do very little but achieve a lot, while others work tirelessly and hardly get any results? You're used to thinking that success only comes to those who work around the clock and put in massive effort. But in reality, that's not true. We all have the same limited amount of time and energy to no one can achieve great results relying only on their own efforts. So what's the secret? Let's figure it out. Remember the story of Archimedes when he said, "Give me a place to stand, and I will move the earth." Do you think he said that thoughtlessly, or was it just a beautiful phrase? Not at all. He was absolutely right. The secret of his statement lies not in his strength, but in the power of leverage. Today, I'll tell you about this amazing principle that will change your understanding of how to act correctly to achieve truly great results. This video is for those who are ready to think differently and act wisely. Watch this video till the end, and you'll see your actions from a new perspective. I'm sure the results will pleasantly surprise you. What is the leverage effect? The leverage effect is when you use minimal effort to get maximum results. I borrowed this principle from physics and from observing everyday life. It's not just a physical principle. It's a philosophy of success that applies to all areas of life. Imagine a seesaw, an ordinary children's seesaw. Picture it. On one side sits a child weighing 30 kilograms, and on the other, an adult weighing 80 kilograms. Do you think the seesaw will move? Of course not, because the weights are unequal. But can we make it so that the child and the adult, despite their different weights, can still swing? Yes, we can. But to do this, we need to shift the point of impact and the point of applied force. This happens when the child moves farther from the center toward the edge of the board, while the adult, on the contrary, sits closer to the fulcrum. In this case, the child can easily lift the adult, even though he weighs much less. You've probably noticed this in childhood and maybe even tried it yourself. That's exactly the principle of leverage, when small forces produce greater results. Let's take another example. Imagine you need to move a stone that weighs 100 kilograms. It's impossible to do it with your bare hands and strength alone. But if you take a metal crowbar, place a small stone under it as a fulcrum, you can easily lift the heavy rock with minimal effort. You haven't become stronger. You simply used the principle of leverage, which multiplied your abilities many times over. Don't believe it? You can test it right now by going outside and trying in practice. Those who work with physical labor see this every day. So, what is a lever made of? And how does it give you power? Any lever, whether it's a simple stick or a method in business, consists of three main parts. 1. The fulcrum. What is the fulcrum? It's the foundation on which the entire lever rests. It holds all the weight and gives stability to in life and business. Your fulcrum can be your reputation, knowledge, skills, resources, authority, and the trust people have in you. Without a solid fulcrum, the lever won't work. 2. The point of impact or action. This is the point where you want to get the result. It's where the effect of the lever becomes visible, the place where you achieve the desired outcome. 3. The point of applied effort. This is the place where you apply your force. In life, these are the actions you personally take. Remember, a lever works well only when you have a strong and reliable fulcrum. You know exactly where to apply your effort, meaning what actions to take, and you clearly understand what result you want to achieve. Now, what types of levers exist and how do they work? Levers come in different types, and understanding them helps you use them more effectively. There are three main types of levers. The first type of lever. This is when the fulcrum is located between you and the object, allowing you to lift or move a heavy load with minimal effort. Let's look at examples of the first type lever in real life. A seesaw or a board on a log. When a heavy person sits on one end and a small child on the other, can easily lift them if the fulcrum is closer to the adult. Scissors. The fulcrum is in the middle. You press the handles with little force, and the blades easily cut through tough materials. A nail puller. You place it under a nail. Here, the fulcrum is the bend of the tool. Even with a light push, you can pull out a firmly driven nail. The purpose of a first-class lever is to achieve the maximum result with minimal effort. That's why I call this type of lever efficiency. A second-class lever is when the load, where your goal, is located between you, the point where effort is applied, and the fulcrum. Examples from real life. A wheelbarrow. The load is between the wheel, the fulcrum, and you, the effort. You can easily lift and move heavy objects. A garlic press or a nutcracker. The garlic or nut, the load, is in the middle. The fulcrum is on one end, and you press from the other. A small effort, and the garlic is crushed or the nut is cracked. A bottle opener. The bottleneck is the fulcrum. The cap in the middle is the point of action. You easily open it with a simple movement of your hand. The goal of a second-class lever is to create a situation where you have the maximum chance of achieving your goal. You kind of squeeze your target from both sides, leaving it no room to escape. That's why I call this lever inevitability. This is the same principle Don Corleone used when he said, "I made him an offer he couldn't refuse." By the way, blackmail, extortion, racketeering, and hostage-taking also belong to the second type of leverage. That's why such situations force people to obey. The criminals use the power of this type of lever. In everyday speech, people say, "He's caught between a rock and a hard place." A third-class lever is when your effort is applied between the fulcrum and the load. In this case, you lose in force but gain in speed and precision of movement. Let me give you a few examples. A tweezers, an ordinary medical tweezers. The fulcrum is on one end, your fingers apply effort in the middle, and the object you pick up is the load on the other end. You can easily and precisely grab small items. A fishing rod. You hold the rod, the end behind your hand is the fulcrum, your hands apply effort in the middle, and the hook with bait is the load at the far end. Your small effort allows you to make precise, quick, and long casts. A whip. You hold the handle in your palm and apply force with your fingers. As a result, the whip reaches extremely high speed. A shovel while digging. One hand acts as the fulcrum, the other, in the middle, applies the force, and the soil is the load. The working speed is high, but it requires much more strength. The purpose of a third-class lever is to achieve a fast result, even if it requires more effort or more resources. It's like the tip of a whip or a tennis racket strike. That's why I call this type of lever the lever of speed. When time is crucial, this lever becomes especially useful. The idea here is simple. Time is more valuable than money. You spend more resources to get results faster, and that's justified when speed determines success. In real life, we often use this lever. For example, when we want to sell off remaining goods faster, we offer discounts and reach our goals sooner. Or when we pay extra for faster delivery. Or when we're in a hurry and put our energy and resources into whatever helps us increase speed. As we've seen, there are three main types of levers in life. We've already looked at how they appear in everyday situations. Now let's take a closer look at how to use these levers to achieve our goals. To do that, we need to further classify levers for a more precise understanding of how to apply them. There are 6 main ways to use levers. 1. Transformation of energy. These are levers that convert one type of resource into another, more valuable one. For example, the gear shift in a car. You convert your physical energy into the car's mechanical energy. In business, it's like using your reputation to attract investors' money. You don't spend your own funds, but use the trust others have in you to bring in outside capital. In life, education does the same. It turns your time into a higher salary in the future. 2. Accumulation of energy. This means using stored energy or resources. Like winding a clock spring, first you spend effort winding it, and then the clock runs on its own for a long time. In a career, it's the accumulation of experience and skills that make you a valuable specialist. At first, you study and work hard, but later, you can use that knowledge repeatedly. In business, it's when you build your brand over time, and later, your brand and reputation work for you. In life, it's creating savings or reserves, which you can use in difficult times. 3. Redirecting external forces. These are levers that redirect external forces to work in your favor. It's like a sail that catches the wind and uses it to move your boat forward. In business, it's selling your products through Amazon instead of building your own store from scratch. It's outsourcing work to others. It's using trends and public opinion to your advantage. It's using sunlight to heat your house in winter through the proper placement of windows. In business, this also includes creating a franchise where your business model generates new businesses that pay you, or building a team that multiplies your efforts. In life, it's teaching others what you know, and then those people teach others. This way, your influence grows wider and wider. 5. Reducing resistance. Resistance reducers lower friction and remove obstacles. It's like lubrication in a mechanism that helps it run more smoothly and efficiently. In business, it's simplifying workflows to produce new products faster. It's also motivating employees, suppliers, and customers properly, so everything runs more smoothly. In life, it's organizing your workspace so that all necessary tools are within easy reach. 6. Amplifying resonance. Resonance amplifiers create a swinging effect, where small actions at the right moment produce a huge impact. It's like a swing. If you push it at the right time, it goes higher and higher. In business, it's viral marketing when one person shares your content, creating a chain reaction as many others begin sharing it too. In life, it's choosing the right moment to make a request or suggestion when someone is most likely to agree. Let's look at examples of using levers in everyday life. In personal life, regular exercise and healthy eating over time produce enormous results, even with relatively small daily efforts. Or take the concept of the Kaizen hour, which I practice daily. This hour is devoted to improving my efficiency. Just 1 hour spent each day on increasing efficiency gives me tremendous results. Another example, planning. Spend just 15 minutes planning your day, and you'll save hours and accomplish far more. Learning. Learning any new skill requires effort at the beginning, but later it brings benefits for many years. Take mentorship, for example. By finding a good mentor, you can avoid many mistakes and reach your goals much faster. Now, let's look at business examples. Other people's money, for instance. Using loans or investments to expand your business is also a form of leverage. Although I generally don't encourage borrowing, I mention it here simply to explain how levers work. Or delegation, when you assign tasks to other people so you can focus on the most important things. Or advertising through satisfied clients, when your customers themselves recommend you to others. Or franchising, when your business model is scaled by others and you earn from it. Or using other people's knowledge. hiring experts instead of trying to learn everything yourself. In investing, this is called financial leverage, when you use borrowed or investors' money to increase your potential profit. Or a simple everyday example, a mortgage for buying a home. You live in the apartment and gradually become its owner, even without having the full amount up front. Now let's talk about the dangers of leverage, because you might think levers are only beneficial in reality, levers are not as harmless and useful as they may seem at first glance. Levers are more like a magnifying glass for your efforts. They can amplify both success and failure. They can be extremely helpful or quite dangerous. It all depends on the goals and intentions behind how you use them. Despite all their advantages, levers come with certain risks that are important to understand. The first danger or risk is dependence on others. The effect of leverage often depends on external resources, which can create risks such as loss of control, vulnerability to external changes, and the need to maintain relationships with those who provide these resources. The second risk is management complexity. As a system grows, it becomes harder to manage. It requires more attention, more control, and it's more difficult to detect and fix problems. Increased risks. A lever amplifies not only positive effects, but also negative ones. For example, financial leverage increases not only potential profits, but also potential losses, and mistakes in a large system can trigger a chain reaction of problems. Long waiting periods. Building effective leverage systems often takes time. Many types of levers require significant effort up front, and the first results may not appear right away. Common mistakes when using leverage: strategic mistakes. Choosing the wrong type of leverage. For example, using financial leverage where social leverage is needed. Applying effort in the wrong place. Focusing on small tasks that bring little to no real impact. Ignoring the need for a strong foundation. Trying to use leverage without first building a reliable base. Tactical mistakes. Over-leveraging, creating a system that depends too heavily on external resources. Neglecting quality, expanding a business at the cost of the quality of core processes. Impatience, expecting instant results from levers that are designed to work in the long term. The essence of the leverage effect. The leverage effect is not just a physical principle. It's a universal concept that can be applied to almost every area of life, from finance to personal relationships, from business to education. Everywhere you can find ways to apply this powerful tool. Remember, the essence of using leverage is not about working less, but about achieving greater results. It's not about laziness. It's about working smart. The key is to understand that your own efforts should be focused mainly on directing external forces, not on doing all the work by yourself. Instead of carrying everything on your shoulders, learn to create systems that work for you. Final thought: the leverage effect is not just a way to do more with less effort. It's a philosophy of efficiency that helps you reach your goals in the most optimal way by using not only your own resources, but also the forces and opportunities that already exist around you. Once you master this principle, you'll start achieving results that once seemed impossible, and you'll do it amazingly efficiently. And on that note, I'll say goodbye and wish you to think more often about the leverage effect in your own life and use it to its fullest potential.